There are particular stages in developing grounded theory, and we can think of three stages in this process. The first stage is open coding. This is where the reflective practitioner develops categories to identify groups of data. The second stage is axial coding. This is where the reflective practitioner is looking to find connections between groups of data, between the categories. And the third stage is selective coding. This is where the reflective practitioner is building, constructing a story around the coded data, which provides a narrative account of the experience. So open coding is a way of examining experience, and we know that the key process in terms of reflection is about making a record, a diary or some sort of log. And open coding examines the text to look for particular categories and aims to combine data under certain headings within categories in order to provide a label for them. And the important thing for the reflective practitioner to remember is not just to describe experiences, but to take on a role of trying to understand experience much more. And therefore clarity is very important in terms of looking at words and how we're using words to describe experience. And another aspect of open coding is to make sure, as a reflective practitioner, that you're using a constant comparative approach. Or in other words, you're always looking at and re-looking at time and again the data in order to check the category is correct and to check that other data can be included or should be removed from that category. And this process is known as saturation. This is where we're looking to find as many pieces of data as we can within a category and to fully understand that data in all its complexity. And in terms of open coding, there is a stress on action. It doesn't. What we're trying to do as reflective practitioners is not just to describe, but to understand the things which are occurring, the actions which are taking place, why things are happening, how things are happening, what was an individual, for example, trying to achieve by doing a particular action. And in this sense, coding is very much about identifying both social processes as well as psychological processes, understanding how people have done things, but also why people have done things. And therefore, this constant comparative approach, this idea of saturation, is very much promoted by ensuring that it is an iterative process, or in other words, the data is built up gradually over time. Axial coding then goes on to take the data which has been categorized and find connections and interconnections between the pieces of data, between the categories. And it's from this then that a model can be applied. The stages in developing grounded theory come from the activity of axial coding, where the reflective practitioner begins to define the model. The model comes from certain conditions which are creating a process of change, causal conditions. And these lead to the identification of a particular phenomenon. within the context of teaching in the classroom. And this then has a consequence for the reflective practitioner in terms of certain interventions which are made, and actions and interaction which can occur in the classroom. And the strategies which the reflective practitioner use then lead to consequences, which again further lead to further causal conditions. So in terms of axial coding, the reflective practitioner is looking for these particular causal conditions, the influences which are impacting on events and incidents in the classroom. And with axial coding, you're looking at trying to define a particular phenomenon. The central idea which begins to form a theory for the reflective practitioner. And from this central phenomenon, the reflective practitioner is looking to develop strategies for addressing that phenomenon, for solving a problem. And the idea then is that these strategies are fit for purpose, or in other words, they are responsive to the context in which teaching is taking place.